performer. He's a performer. He's an actor. Please give it up for
performer, actor.
Ian, are you drunk?
Sorry. It's my new job.
You're drunk at your new job?
No, I'm drunk here.
Oh,
can I get amateurs?
Amateurs.
Okay. Yeah. I'm working as a South chef now, downtown. Awesome. So I came in and I was just doing my thing. Just get on the line. I mean, I never worked in a restaurant, so I don't know how it works. But
you're drinking at work. That's the job.
Yeah, man, I'm a South chef. You know how it is.
Yeah.
That's who chef.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, man. The interview was fantastic. I showed up last week. And sort of like this, and they said, are you experienced? And I said, man, I've been experienced all day. So today was my first day. It was great, man. It was great.
And you showed up drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's what you do. That's the job, man.
It's called
being here.
No, Ian, it's a sous chef. It's the assistant to the head chef. It's sous chef. You're pronounced
Sous chef.
A sous chef.
Sous chef.
Sous.
So what you're telling me is I have it wrong.
Yes, you're definitely.
So they hired me to move to North Dakota, put on a ceremonial headdress, and take charge of one of the greatest first nations this country's ever known.
No, they didn't hire you to do that.
That sounds like a lot of crazy bull. Yeah.
Ian, what did I tell you about being drunk at these shows?
I am a dream catcher! Hi. So as Tabitha is always so kind to point out, I'm a performer, I'm not a stand-up comedian. So, I'm a little nervous and, Well, let me ask this. Starla, should I do my stuff or someone else's?
Well, I don't know who else to do that. What's my choices?
Mine or someone else's?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, his? Yeah. Okay, yours.
That's a bad choice. Because I'm not a stand-up comedian. I don't really do the things stand-up comedians do. I mean, I admire them.
I admire them.
I think it's really talented what they do, what they are able to do. Like for example, I think it's so cute when like a stand-up comedian will, poll an audience, but not wait for a response. Hey, who here has a cell phone? And it's just a setup for a joke. It's fantastic. And it's like, hey, did anyone here eat cookies? I love it. And I like when they take a slightly different tone about it too, where it's like, who here likes Dane Cook? But that's not something I do. It's not my style. Hey, who here masturbates? Starla, should I go ahead with this joke? Yes? Pull it out. Don't you hate when you're masturbating? And, you're just really horny and you're nude, at least, or maybe not, I don't know, depending on the privacy necessities surrounding you, sometimes you need to be covert. But, your clitoris is just engorged with blood, and you just really want to get off. But your mind goes blank. And you can't think of anything to really get you off, so you're just standing there and you have an erect penis in your hand. And it's like showing a dog a tennis ball, and it's jumping up and down and really excited, and you know, you just keep holding it there, and eventually the dog's like, "We doing this?" I'm just gonna, because I could have been licking my anus for the last 5 minutes. I mean, in my case, if it were a dog, you know, it'd be a schnauzer. A miniature schnauzer. Oh, come on. Did I say I'm nervous? Of course I said that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not very nervous in front of a crowd this small. I'm even very nervous in front of one person. You know, especially like, I'm no good at pillow talk, you know. I'll be standing there naked, sitting there, lying there. I'm there. Naked. And they're naked. And, you know, I'm post-coitally flabbergasted. But I do have a technique that I thought of that I would like to share with you if anyone, you know, is sort of a little bit like me. Even if you don't want to admit it. When everything's finished, you're lying there, there's an awkward, thick, viscous silence.
Oh.
For me to help myself come up with some great conversational tidbits, I will look at them and I will imagine them in their underwear. Works. I think, maybe. I haven't had much of a time to try that out since my first wife left me. So, hey, you know, that's another thing I really like that I'd like to, you know, just give props to all these great stand-up comedians and their abilities. You know, talking about true stories, you know, that's something I don't do is just, you know, this is a true story. It's so funny. This is a true story. Can't make this stuff up. Yes, you can, and that's why you're a stand-up comedian. It's, you know, but I don't have a lot of funny true stories like everyone else does, so I just, promiscuity is a funny word. And that's obviously where prom comes from, because that's where it starts for most of it. Promises, screws, yeah. So, Stylo, would you like to hear about last time I saw my first wife, or would you like to hear a poem? What would you like?
Let's go with the poem.
This is a poem I wrote about my first wife's cooking. Oh, God. And it's about exactly 3 years old. Hey, why do they call it a sunset when there's only one of them? That's a joke. This is the poem. Oodles of noodles I've consumed, while long overhead my last days loomed. Frothy the broth be that held my spoon, after I dropped it a moment too soon. Spice and devices to keep me invested, ingredients and groupings I've seen tested, confessions of messes I've left behind, while slurping up noodles both coarse and refined. Swirling, unfurling throughout my head, exactly the reason I don't eat in bed. Cold are the bowls I've long abandoned, never on purpose, always unplanned and regretted, indebted to ramen remaining. Silent and still whilst lining the drain, exhume the consumed noodles from my gut, for I never learned to keep my mouth shut. So what happened with my first wife is, and this is a true story, by the way, you cannot make this stuff up, is when I first started performing, because I'm not a comedian, I would go out, I would do open mics, and this is, as many of you know, back in Chicago. And I would leave her at home alone, and she would get very bored. She would get very suspicious because I was going to places that are great to meet people. You know, I'd go volunteering, I'd go to open mics, and she would tell me, you know, I don't like it, you're not paying any attention to me, and it's God forbid someone's not paying attention to a woman. So, she confronted me about it, and my response to her, I said, no, dearest, for she was my dearest. You know, explore yourself, find a talent. And she found a talent, took my advice, took up fishing, fly fishing, bar fly fishing. We lived above a bar, and when I would go out in the evening to bomb at places not unlike the Brillobox, she would go down to the bar, get a beer, get a guy, come back up, finish off with the guy, go back down, get another beer, get another guy, come back up, do the same thing, go back down to the bar, get another beer, bring up a couple guys, finish them off, go down. I didn't mind. I didn't enjoy cleaning up afterwards, but I didn't mind. And the guys were always really nice. You know, these big toothless twins, the beards, you know. We lived in Wicker Park, so you know, smelly bicycle shorts and all that. But they were always really nice. And I guess when you're about to get, you know, a free booty ride, that some emotionless sex, you're all smiles and sunshine too. Anyway, it started to get on my nerves because she got really smug about it. Like she was doing something impressive. Like they are giving away a MacArthur grant for fornication. And, you know, I confronted her about it. And, you know, I said, you know, what are you doing? What are you trying to prove by doing this? Are you trying to upset me? And, you know, she would say, darling. She always called me darling, with just the right amount of irony behind it. She would say, darling, you told me to explore my talents. And I'd say beer and penises, that's your whole life now. Beer and penises, putting things inside you is not a talent. And her response to that, of course, was, darling, it's my body to do anything and anyone I want with. Okay. Sounds a little bit like a reproductive rights argument, but that, of course, has a lot more to do with what comes out of you than what goes into you. Again and again, from multiple angles. And of course, the coup de grace, darling. What? Darling. This is such a childish double standard. We would not be having this argument if we were two men. First off, we wouldn't be married if we were two men. Not in the state we're in, anyway. But beyond that, I don't know who started the mythology that all guys are, you know, just every other guy's big cheerleader squad when it comes to sleeping around. A slut is a slut no matter what is between your legs. And for me, myself, I've never given a guy a high five when he's taking home the, you know, the drunkest girl at the bar because, ew. But my actual response, what I said out loud to her was, you know, we want to talk about standards, let's talk about your standards. We would need an archaeologist to excavate your standards. Get it? Well, she got it. She said, darling, I do not have low standards. I have broad standards. And I said, well, they're pretty low for any broad I know. After all, you slept with me, and I love throwing that in someone's face, you know, after we've done whatever, and then the pillow talk commences, I always look at you and I say, you have such bad taste. And, well, that was pretty much the last I saw of her, and I don't know what happened to her. Some people say she moved in with her folks, which would be awesome, because they were dead since before I met her. Some people said she got gender reassignment surgery, which to me has always been a very cold clinical term, you know, which suits my first wife perfectly. But I've always thought it just doesn't really ring true to what's really happening. It's like, you know, you're standing in line and people are just handing out a piece of paper. You're a guy. Go pretend you give a shit about sports. But, you know, you come back later, years on, and say, no, I fucked up, you know, I'm sorry, my dog's in the hospital, my grandma ate my assignment, can I try again? So I always thought instead of gender reassignment, there are so many more accurate terms out there, I don't know, like gender recalibration. But, Starla, you want me to leave? Or do you want to hear a song?
I'll go for the song.
And Gab, your mom said that.
I know not everyone hates my mom, but what are we gonna do? Gave her the choice, man.
I did. I didn't give a shit.
It's awesome
You can
that
too.
you gave her the choice, I mean.
What kind of choice? I could leave or I could listen to the song.
No. I could leave. You can choose again. I'm sorry if the test wasn't clear.
Understood you then.
Yeah. So,
Be done.
okay. But feel free to look for me in tomorrow's Post-Gazette. Actually, that's why John showed up to finalize the details. I will be on the front page. It's a fantastic photograph. I've already seen an advance copy of the article. I'm sort of like... And the headline, I guess at least the tentative headline that they're going with, and tell me if this is right, you know, look for me tomorrow under the headline, World's Most Sexually Frustrated Man is Reassigned His Virginity. Thank you.
The performer isn't gonna be on.
Aww. Did it leave a mark?
Yeah.
The performer Ian Insect. I thought that was like an Andy Kaufman, Woody Allen mashup if you're into girl talk.